Welcome back to The Truth with Trinity, and I am your host, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'd like to send you a warm welcome. Here I talk about issues that happen within the Black community, hopefully for some resolution or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. So, without further ado, I'd like to jump into this episode's topic, which it was kind of hard for me to name this. There was two different titles I came up with, and I'll try to make this as short as possible. But the title is "The Hidden Agenda for Black Women and Men to Destroy Each Other," or "How Black Men Unconsciously Destroy Themselves Through the Hands of Black Women." Okay, so I wanted to start off with a quote from myself. If you want to destroy a people, you damage the root. And all that follows, so any generation that follows, will be broken afterwards, okay? I want to start off by saying we as black people, at least majority of us can agree that in this country, we have very little political power. And because we don't own much land or big businesses, we don't own much because we can't collectively put our money together. Okay? And we can't put our money together because of mistrust. And we mistrust each other because many of us don't come from families that value placing trust within each other. Okay, so that's at the root of our problems. We don't have much political power, so we don't have much say. We don't own any big businesses or any land for the most part. And we don't put our money together, so we can't own any of these big businesses a lot of times. And we don't trust each other, and we don't put our money together because we have poor family structure. Okay, so that's pretty much the brunt of um, what's going on. So basically, as black people, we have to go back to the initial part that was broken 700 years ago. And that was the black family. So before we worry about ruling a nation and so forth, we must heal the root. Because what good would it be if all those things were handed to us tomorrow? So big businesses, land, political power, with the majority of our people having the mindset that they do today. So what good would it be for us to even have all this stuff and we're killing each other? That would magically go away. Okay? The disharmonious way that we engage with each other on an everyday basis, the average black man and woman, that's not going away even if we were given money and riches and new land. Okay? So I want to start off, okay, with quoting some lyrics or context from the Willie Lynch letter. It states that once the black woman is broken, then she will eat out of our hand. Okay, whose hand? The slave master's hand. Okay, and there's another point I'd like to bring up, which is very important if you could, stick in there with me. We will negotiate by the black woman and through the black woman. Let's look deeper at the context and how it refers and relates to 2021. Okay? At one time, European slave owners used methods of breaking the black woman by rape, starvation, murdering her children, killing her source of protection. And who was her protection? Her source of protection at one time was the black man. Once the black woman, which is Mother Earth and part of the root that delivers future generations, were no longer once we no longer seen black men as our protectors, then the black woman began to eat out of the slave owner's hand. Okay? So that goes back into it states that once the black woman is broken, they broke her by starving her and, killing her black man and her children in front of her. We began to eat out of and trust the hand of the slave master, okay? By asking for permission by the white man instead of black men to eat, live, and breathe. Okay, so instead of depending on our black man, we began to have to depend on the white man, okay? Now, we aren't living on plantations anymore. But like Willie Lynch also stated, the method that was put in place will keep the human brain lost spinning on an axis, like a orbit spinning in the middle of space on an axis, okay? And how the human mind had a tendency to correct itself, but this method, if implemented correctly, should last for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay? So they're saying that, basically the methods that they put forth on the slave, the black slave, should last for hundreds and thousands of years. Okay? So my question is now who is breaking the black woman? Who is doing the starvation of black women and child? Who? Okay, who? Okay, so we don't have the slave master breaking the black woman, raping the black woman, abusing the black woman, starving the black woman and child. Now, unfortunately, with all due respect, it's our own black men that are starving and abusing black women, okay? And I want to go over another part. We will negotiate by the black woman and through the black woman, okay? So I want to talk about how, the black man destroys the black woman, and then in turn, the black woman destroys the black man, and how this just continues, okay? So I'm driving at a point here, okay? So I'm going to repeat that. We will negotiate by the black woman and through the black woman. What does this mean? Once black women were broken and became dissociated from loving and trusting the black man and bearing him mentally healthy offspring, okay? So when we talk about dissociated, so this is the natural state of being of mind for anyone, but we're talking about black women in particular right now. So once she was dissociated, basically fragmented, separated, and became two different identities. She became separate from the loving, depending, looking up toward the black man, okay? So once she, was dissociated from that, and she became mentally ill through all the methods inflicted upon her, she was unhealthy mentally, and therefore producing mentally unhealthy children. Okay, so now whatever methods needed, so after they broke the black woman, now whatever methods needed to be enforced to murder black children and men can be implemented through the black woman. Okay, so once the black woman was broken, any method that they needed to destroy other black people and children were implemented through her. She was now open. Okay, so basically once the black woman is hungry, abused, broken spiritually, they could use her body like an open vehicle or vortex, and thus forth use her psyche at will to damage other black men and children. Okay. And how is this done in 2021? Okay, how is this done now? Once the black man breaks his woman by, black men view black women as nothing but sexual comfort. Okay, so we're not talking about white men. We're talking about black men in 2021. Okay, so now this is what's going on. Okay. The black woman continues to the black woman continues to look at the black man as nothing but money. Okay, so this is how we're destroying each other now. Okay, hand in hand. So once the black man, continues to view black women as nothing but sexual comfort, the black woman continues to look at the black man as nothing but money. Okay, the black man continues to physically assault and rape black women. Okay, and then you have more black women that aid white supremacists in the lynching of black males. Because as you well know, if there's domestic violence, the black man's beating on the black woman. Of course, the black woman doesn't have time to think, oh, if I call 911, if I call the cops, they might shoot him. Okay? The black woman's going to call the cops and not caring what happens to that black man once he's placed in police custody. So the two go hand in hand. We need less black men abusing and physically assaulting black women, so the black woman can help to protect her man instead of giving her man up to the authorities. The more black men mock single mothers and purposely leave black women broke, okay, the more the hatred grows inside the black woman to have him incarcerated for child support. I'll repeat that again. The more black men mock and make fun of single mothers and purposely leave the black woman broke, the more the hatred grows inside the black woman to have him incarcerated for child support. I want to talk to the black man. This isn't just the black woman. Like I said, other races of men respectfully know you leave that white woman on a broad mass scale, because there's white single mothers, yes. But the white man knows if he leaves that white woman on a broad mass scale hungry with children, she'll murder those kids. Okay? She'll turn him into child support. She'll black widow him for his insurance money. So this is any nature in any woman, and it's time for the black man. The black man always accuses the black woman of living in a Disney fairy tale like sense of how she views how black men should treat her. But it's time for the black man to stop living in reality, to think that he's going to continue in his practices upon the black woman of leaving her destitute, of abusing her without taking care of her or any protection, and think that he's going to leave her broken, destitute with children and mentally damaged, and that this is not going to fall back on him. And every other race of man knows this. It's time for the black man to come to some realization. So the black woman needs to come to some realization, and so must the black man. Okay, so we're no different in a lot of ways from other races of women. Right. Let me continue. The more black men continue to verbally assault black women, the more black women mentally scar the black children, especially the young black sons, out of the uncontrollable psychological damage. Okay, so the more the black men, you ain't nothing, you're nothing but a SLUT, and all these things that are imprinted on the black woman's mind, which causes more of the mental illness, because we both, as black men and women, need to heal both of our traumas and mental illness through generational trauma. But the more the black man is doing this, it's causing, and on top of abandoning the black woman, it's causing more mental illness and more abuse upon the black child, female and male, and it's causing the black male child to grow up to hate black women even more. And like I said, the cycle just continues. Let me continue. So after the psychological damage upon the children, in retrospect, by breaking the root, the generations after breakage continue to attack themselves, bringing in more offspring genetically programmed to produce the same results. Okay? So, what do we do, my fellow black gentlemen and ladies? Okay, going to others who are unapologetic won't work, and it never has. We keep asking and keep asking for apologies. Who's going to help us? Like the world tells an abused woman. So let me make a metaphor here. The only person that can heal you is yourself, right? So as black people, yes, there was abuse done to us, great and unforgivable at times, monstrosities done to black people. But what are we going to do? Are we going to keep sitting down? Or are we going to get in the fight? Are we going to get in the race of life? We already see that they're unapologetic. We already see that they benefit off of the black woman, being in the abused state, broken state that she is, continue to exploit the black man and him going to prison. They're getting wealthy off of the heads of black children and black women giving their children up to child support because of the black man being out of the home, the black man being incarcerated. Okay, child support doesn't care about the black woman or the black man. It's about the comfort of their families benefiting like the black man and woman picking cotton in slavery. Okay, what are we going to do about it? That's the problem. That's the solution. Let me continue. So I think these are some solutions right here that I'm going to talk about right now. Number one, the black man must take back authority and accountability over his women and children, because that's what was done, in the Willie Lynch letter and back then in slavery. They separated the black woman from the black man and making her depend on, like I said, the slave owner. And now it's the system, by making sure the black woman doesn't need as much daycare for the children. Okay, so many children are abused in daycare. Okay, and it causes the black woman to focus on money, 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 money. When the black man's out the house, that's what men usually do. Men usually focus on the business and money, 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 money. And it causes out of survival the black woman to take on another part, an aspect of being a man is by money, 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 not caring about the kids' education, not caring about supervising the kids because all she could think about is rent, 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 and mortgages and utility bills and gas money and bus fare. Okay? Like I said, by making sure the black woman doesn't need much daycare, food stamps, or cash assistance, so that the power is rightfully restored back to you, black man, and the black woman trusting in you. She will feel protected and healing her mental trauma and therefore producing mentally healthier children, because a lot of our children, they're growing up in fragmented homes. um, Both parents a lot of times aren't there because the mother's out at work, or she may be on drugs, or she may be trying to escape the painful reality of her existence. You have all sorts of scenarios, and it's causing our black children not to be able to focus well in school. They're growing up with half identities, and they say that our African American children are least likely to be intelligent, but that is furthest from the truth. Okay, it's because us as black people, we have our values and our priorities set in the wrong areas. That's what's going on with black people. Okay, but it's not because we are intelligent. You notice everything that we set forth in, we dominated, not just sports. Okay, that's why it's so pertinent that the black man and woman clear their consciousness and mind so that they can evolve and elevate for the next generation. Let me go to number 2. The black man must take his share of responsibility for where his seeds land. The black man it is no more acceptable for the black man to have a slave man mentality, a field hand mentality that he's just getting women pregnant that he don't know about. You're sleeping with multiple women and you don't know if she's sleeping with other men because you're not with her. You're just, having sex everywhere, and your seeds are planted everywhere, and then you're getting mad at women that you don't see as a wife. They are pregnant with your child. They are going to child support because they do feel betrayed. They do need money. Okay, because if they're going to be a prostitute, by you not being committed to them, they're going to be a prostitute all the way and go get money. This is any woman, though, so you can keep blaming this on black women. The black man must be honest with himself. This goes for any woman that's played like that, regardless of race or any of that. This is just how women operate. It's time for the black man to study his own black woman. So let me continue, though. He must develop discipline instead of the victim mentality. The black man must discipline himself with sex. He must. Okay? He must get out of this lustful state. This is a struggle that all men, since the beginning of mankind, but this is a part of what keeps the black man entrapped. Okay? It's his lack of discipline. Take the income of the system away of placing black men in prison by becoming husbands and fathers. We can really strip this system bare if we would create more families. The job and family services, welfare, we're making them filthy rich off of our dysfunction as black people. That's why I made the episode $1 billion business off the backs of blacks. I mean, there's so many different ways that we're exploiting ourselves off of our own dysfunction as black people, and they're getting rich off of it. So no, we're no longer picking cotton, but they found another way to get rich off of us without us having to physically pick cotton. And I wanted to lastly say, once the black man takes his rightful position, okay, so we don't need any more black men saying, oh, we not responsible for nothing. But those are the same black men complaining that black women won't be submissive. So we don't need any more black men saying we're not going to protect black women. We don't care about their safety. We don't care about their well-being. And another thing I wanted to say too is, the more the black man ignores the cries of his black woman, the more God, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the God over Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is going to ignore the black man's cries of being lynched and executed in America. I'll repeat that again. The more the black man ignores the cries of his black woman, which is the other half of who he is, the more that God is going to ignore the cries of the black man being lynched and executed in America until he takes his rightful position back in this earth, and that's starting with his black men and children. Okay, so once the black man takes his rightful position, the black woman can cease to being used as a pawn through the powers that be that seek to vicariously destroy the black man and child through her. Okay? That pretty much concludes this segment. Look, I love you guys all. I just want us to evolve as a people and not keep going around in the same circles, and really self-improve, and that goes with myself every day as well. If you'd like to get in contact with me, if you have any questions or suggestions or a question for the podcast, one of these days I like to set it up where there could be guest speakers, which I'm not that advanced yet in knowing how to set things up, but I'm learning. I'd like to do something like that. But if you have any question that you'd like to be discussed on the podcast, you can contact me at thetruthwithtrinity.com. You can also listen to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And always remember, if you can't tell the truth with anyone else, you can with Trinity. Till next time, take care.